Hello, welcome to She. She is safe haven for Eve, where you be, become, and boast. Be who you are, become your better self, and boast about it by sharing with the world.
You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Eve Haven. My name is Nay.
And I'm Double R.
Thank you for being here. Okay, Double R, today I want to discuss this topic. Mirror, mirror on the wall. An honest take on how Black women are perceived in today's world. So what made me think about this topic is, of course, a lot of Black women in today, especially in the United States, are the most educated group of people. Yet, for some reason, we cannot get away from that opinion from others of the angry Black woman, or the strong Black woman, or, dare I say, welfare queens. They don't look at us, the greater societies, sadly some of our own, don't look at us as titans of industry or heads of corporations or bosses in whatever arena we're in. We're always looked at as those on the lowest rung of the ladder. And if we're physically not on the lowest rung, i.e., of a poor education or having multiple children by multiple men, if we're in a sustainable marriage, a beautiful home with great things, high education, lots of money, and well-traveled and well-read, other people all over the world, still call us out of our name. So my question is, why is that? Why are we constantly viewed, I don't care if your name is Oprah Winfrey or Sheila Johnson, as less than an immigrant from Slovenia?
Because I think the powers to be always have to have a scapegoat.
And that's us.
That's us.
The Black woman.
The Black woman. Black people in general, but particularly the Black woman, because they know the Black woman is strong.
The mother of the earth.
They understand that the Black woman is strong. Black women bring more to society than any other sector in the universe.
Right.
So they know that. Black women angry? Yes.
You
have a right to be angry.
That's right.
When your grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, your auntie, your little baby cousin, your little baby sister have been taken out and raped.
Yes.
And brutalized and made to carry the master's children, and still those kinds of things go on today. Mm-hmm. Not in that sense, but those same kind of evilness go on. So why we don't have a right to even respond to that kind of thing? Or all of a sudden you're the angry Black woman? Well, yeah. You as a Black woman, you have a right to be angry. But the bottom line is, to my point is, the conqueror or the powers to be always will want a scapegoat, and they convince everybody else around them to agree with them that this Black woman is a scapegoat.
So I agree with you wholeheartedly, but my question is, why haven't we as a Black woman collective spread that message? I have every right to be angry for those things that you said and others, right? Mm-hmm. Why don't we, you know how people like to say, oh, the N-word we're taking it back. I hate the word, by the way, but we're taking it back. You can't take back something that you did not create. That's not our word. But we have every right to be angry, and we have every right to take back the narrative from them, because they're turning it around like we're angry because we got something good going on. No, we're angry because of all the bad that has happened throughout the generations.
And still happening
today. So we need to take that back and turn it back around on those who are giving us the pain. But we don't. We're perceived as angry But we have every right to be angry, and we need to say that.
And we need to say that. One of the reasons that this campaign have been so successful, like it always has been successful.
Which campaign?
The campaign against black women.
Okay.
Divide and conquer.
Yes.
And once you divide people and give them a reason to think they are divided, or give them a reason to think that they should be divided, like the light-skinned black slave worked in what they call the big house. And then they put the darker-skinned black slave in the fields. So then you have this division from the very beginning.
Yes.
They made that division, and it carried through the generations in not the same way, not the big house in the fields, but in industry. My sister was telling me a story the other day. She worked for the government, and there was a position that came open that she was well qualified to have. But the other woman was also qualified, but not as qualified as my sister, because she had more years, she had more experience, she had more education. So her supervisor called her in and said, "You are really qualified for this job, but you can't have it."
But you can't have it.
Because the other girl is of a lighter complexion.
The supervisor said that outright.
At a lighter complexion, and they will accept her in that position, but they won't accept you. But you know what she said, which was very puzzling to me? I understood. How could you understand that? I understood, and she was right. They wouldn't have accepted me. But I had a right to at least go for the position. But anyhow, divide and conquer. So even if it's not happening in the fields anymore, it is still happening in industry. And but this is our fault as black women. We have bought into that division.
That's what I was going for.
We have bought into the division. Oh, Susie over here, you can't associate with her. Oh, I'm moving to this neighborhood. It's 95% white, and I'm the only one in this neighborhood. And then let 5 or 6 other families of the same color start moving. Oh, this neighborhood's becoming too black. Divide and conquer. We have bought into anything that we can get close to as white, then it's all right.
So we're perpetuating our own demise.
Oh, absolutely. It's our fault.
Yes.
At this time in history, it is our fault now. Because we still are saying, give us Barabbas, or give us something that we don't own. We just want to be part of it.
But why are we in that space? Because I'm looking at the way black women are perceived. Malcolm X said, the black woman is the least protected person on the face of the earth.
Yes.
I'm paraphrasing. But yes, that is true. And even by black men and other black women.
Yes.
We are the least protected when you have some sororities of the Divine Nine didn't want black women of a darker hue to be part of their organization.
Even the historical black college. One particular come in mind, you had, when most historical black colleges and universities was started, you had to meet the brown paper test.
That's right.
And it still goes on today, but it's that same game, divide and conquer. And that's what is continuing today. But now that we know this, now that we know the game, it is our fault that it continues to play out. We don't support each other. We open a business. Oh, they too expensive. We'll go across town to give our money to another neighborhood. But we'll let anybody in our neighborhood. And they can sell to us, and we're just fine.
And their business will last for generations.
Absolutely. So it is now this is my opinion. It is now our fault that we allow that to continue.
How do we change?
That's a good question. We have to start talking about it. We have to come in terms with our own psyche. Because
our own inner biases.
yes, that's what we have to recognize. We have to recognize that, yes, we are black, our skin is black, we think black, but when we listen to a black person say something or a white person say something, we believe that person over there.
We believe the white person is correct.
Yes.
And we're faulty.
Yeah, we're faulty. And we have the most information.
Right.
We have the most skills. We have the most understanding. But they'll take our understanding, our skill, and use it to their betterment.
Of course, they will capitalize on all the things that we do. I saw something a while ago where, black women have been twerking since the beginning of time. But yet, a white woman will open up a gym called Twerk World and will pay to go into Twerk World to learn how to twerk.
That's what I'm saying.
But you'll have that same white woman who have a good friend who happens to be black. That black friend will then draw in the black customers to give their green dollars to this white business.
Yes.
So yes, we are perpetuating our
We absolutely are.
hurt.
And to make
pain.
this clear, it's not about against white women
no.
or anything like that. It's just being real.
It's
being real with ourselves and how we are playing into the game that they created for us to play in.
So are we playing into the game so that we can have longevity in the game? I'm gonna outlast this other Quita because I'm gonna be on team stay quiet.
I think we play in the game because we think we will profit more.
Yes, that's what it is.
We think that we can benefit more. We stay in the game because we think that that's what is required of us in society to be part of society.
Right.
And unless in our minds, we are so convinced by all the campaigns through the generations that in our mind that we're not okay by ourselves.
So when we look in the mirror, what do we see as a collective? Do we see pride? Do we see beauty? Do we see sustainment or sustainability? What do we see? Because what I'm gathering is that we see ugly, and I'm not even talking about physical. I'm saying we see back of the bus. We see if I open my mouth, I lose my spot in the line. We see I can get fired. We see I'm training my replacement. We don't see if I open my mouth, speak up for myself, and dare I say those behind me, that then will give me, carte blanche to the front. We don't see that. We always see that we can be hurt by someone else because they're in the seat of power.
So to ball
we don't make our own tables.
Right. So to ball it down to then, when I look in the mirror, and I'm hoping that when black women look in the mirror, I see strength, I see beauty, not necessarily outward beauty, but just beauty, the beauty of the essence,
Absolutely.
the essence. But I think most black women, if they're honest, the other thing that they see at the same time is fear.
Why?
Fear because they are afraid they will lose their job. They will not be accepted. And sometimes it's not even by other races. Sometimes it's by your own race. Sometimes it's by your own people. You won't be accepted. When ladies started going back to natural hair, black women started going back to natural hair, they had to fight through that.
Yes.
To maintain, look, I don't care what y'all saying, I'm going back to be natural, but that was a fight to get from the wigs and the weaves and the straightening of the hair. That was a fight for them to get to the place where they are now. Right? So, but they fought through it. So we still have some things to fight through. And one of the things we have to fight through is that separation mentality. Somehow we see ourselves as separate from one another. When we're not, we see ourselves like that, but we're not really separate. So we have to fight through all of that all over again. Or maybe we never really dealt with it. I don't know.
I don't think we have.
Maybe
I think we thought we dealt with it.
Yeah.
In the 70s when the afros were like really popular and we had the movement in the streets. But I don't think we really dealt with it, because even then there were those who said get in to fit in and, conform. So yeah, a lot of people changed their hair. A lot of people straightened their hair, got perms eventually. And yeah, we did those things. And we wore the uniform from head to toe.
Yes.
And if that's what you like, then fine, no problems, right? But if you do that to fit in and you don't like it, that's the problem.
And I would dare say a lot of ladies didn't like it. A lot of them did, but a lot of ladies didn't like it. But black women have always been forced to do the things that they didn't like in order to, what they think, make progress for them and make progress for their families.
Yeah. I just, wanted to pose the question of how we are perceived, because you can reach, second in command in the most powerful nation in the world and get called out of your name.
But you know
on
what?
a global scale.
You know what? I think therein may lie one of the biggest issues right there. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter how they perceive us, how anybody perceives us. What really matters and what's really going to change is how do we perceive ourselves as a group? As long as we say, look at the others out there, as long as we're thinking, how do they perceive it? Why do they perceive it? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but we are perceiving ourselves.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
but
that, to me, when I say how we're perceived, it's not just by the others, it's by us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter about other people. It doesn't matter about my cousin. It doesn't matter about my sister. It doesn't matter about my friend who's white. It doesn't matter about my family members who are white. It doesn't matter about anything. What matters is, how do I perceive myself?
Right.
And the way you start changing things is one at a time.
Yeah.
First, you start with yourself, and then hopefully you can begin to have some ripple effects along the way. Maybe it's your daughter, maybe it's your cousin, maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your aunt, maybe it's your uncle, your auntie. It may be some other people around you. So how do you perceive yourself? Because we're energy. And if I'm around you and you think that, and you look up to me, or you honor me in some way, or you respect me in some way, and if I'm showing you that I don't respect myself,
right,
that I don't perceive myself as strong, if I don't perceive myself as worthy,
right,
then that energy is picked up by the people I'm around. So the first thing is, it doesn't matter what you think of me.
right.
It doesn't matter how you perceive me. What really matters is how I perceive myself. And believe it or not, when you change that, you're going to change the nature of your environment. They are not going to be so quick to fire you, because now...
That's true.
Yes.
But we have to get to that point.
Right. And you do
we
that.
Definitely have to get to that point. And I do believe there are some of us who are already there and have been there for years, right? So nothing's is, 100%. But I am so curious to find out, how do we get to at least 90% of us saying, I'm not changing. I'm good the way I am. I am going to speak my mind. And I believe when you speak up, people respect you more.
Absolutely.
When you acquiesce and you fall in line, they know they got you, and they can manipulate and use you to do whatever they want. It's just like if your name was, I don't know, just say something hard to pronounce. So you might have to roll your tongue to get it out, right? And they want to call you, if your name is...
They want to shorten your name.
They want to shorten it to,
Dr. R.
Tora. Let's just say Tora, and your name is Tora Malinsky, whatever it is, right? But they want to shorten it to Tora. Because it's easy for them.
Yeah, but no, my name is...
You have to make sure they know how to pronounce your full name.
Yeah.
Because that's the respect that you're demanding.
Yeah, right.
So when you make it comfortable for others because they can't seem to roll their R's, you explain to them, If you can pronounce Tchaikovsky, you can pronounce my name.
Yeah. But it's those little things. So you want to know where you start?
Where do you
The
start?
first place is you start with yourself.
Absolutely.
The second
Absolutely.
place, you want to know where to start? Religion.
That's why I said, mirror, mirror on the wall. Look at yourself. Start there.
Start with yourself, and then after that, start with religion. Because as long as we buy into what religion sells, we'll never be free.
So that means we'll be a victim of cordiality.
Yes, because that's what religion tells you
And
to do.
we have to mind our matters.
Mind your matters and stay in your place,
and
girl.
stay in your place.
Yes.
And be respectful.
Be respectful, no matter what they do or say. And don't you
backtalk.
sassy me, girl.
You know what? You just gave me PTSD with that. That's a whole other topic for another day. But yeah, you're right.
That's the second place to start. So these pastors who have all these black women under them, still kneeling down to them, still serving them, they're taking away their ability to be who they were created to be.
Yes.
And that is partners in any endeavor. Not your servant,
Not just.
partners.
That's
But
right.
as long as they look at them as second class in their home places, in the black home, start there. There's plenty places we can start. Start in the black home, start in the black church, and forget about all that 1, 2, 3 kinds of things.
Right.
I'm first, you're second.
Right.
Partners. This is a partnership, but there's places we can start, and it's in our own house. It's in our own house. Our own house being our own mind, our own house being our own home, our own house being the churches that we go to, the community organization we belong to, the sororities we belong to. We got plenty of places to start. Now, where
So,
you want to start, girl?
Listen. What it sounds like is we got some work to do.
We got some work to do.
Because we've broken down we've been broken down so many years that we gotta really, I guess, start from the ground up.
Yes.
We gotta tear down to build back up.
Yeah, there's a lot of tearing down and building back up that we need to do in this arena.
All right, well, thank you for this discussion.
It was a great one.
Appreciate it.
It was a great one.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this channel, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Eve Haven. I am Nay.
And I'm Double R, and we'll see you the next time.